Good afternoon, welcome to Rundlii Gaming. So we are going to be showing you another game. This one is Dixit. This is a creativity-based game where basically you are giving clues, and then as you give away clues, your goal is to get at least one person to guess the clue, but not everybody. And what you're going to get in your hand are a bunch of fairly random cards. These all have a lot of different types of artwork and other kind of unusual things as far as that goes. And normally you might take like an aspect of the card, or maybe the theme of the card itself, or something that sticks out in the card. You use that maybe as your clue. Perhaps you might cite through the grapevine, though that would be very specific, and then almost everybody might get that particular card. Or you could maybe reference something like, Pathfinder, D&D, with the dragon and the little kid warrior that's going to fight it. Or there's many different things you could, cite on it. Now, as you play through, like the points though, they don't really matter a whole lot, but if you are wanting to play competitively, it's still fun without points. Points are just something for you to try to win with if you chose to do that. But basically, if all players find, let's say if I give a clue, and then if all the other players find my clue, obviously that was probably too specific or too easy to guess, and therefore all the other players will get 2 points and I get none. Now, if no one finds my card, then again, it wasn't specific enough to where someone could actually get the clue, or people just didn't understand the reference. And so therefore all other players get 2 points. And so that's the other possibility. Now, if at least one person gets my card, but not everybody, I get 3 points, and then whoever guessed it will also get 3 points. And then there will be some additional points given out for anyone that was able to get someone to guess their particular card. So, as you play through, you're going to have a lot of those different cards come up. It's a very simple game. The scoring system is here, so as you can see, it's a very small thing. And the actual instructions for the entire game is on just one page of stuff. So it's very small overall. Now, the starting hand is going to be 6 cards per player, and if you're playing a 3-player game, it's going to be 7, which has a little bit different rules, but there is a 3-player variation, which, though not as good, it does exist on there if you wanted to play with a smaller group. So as an example, we're going to play through a single hand, just kind of give you an idea as far as how the game itself is played. Now, you would go through the different cards in your hand, and you would try to find, some sort of clue that you could give. That way people can also throw in a card. So let's say my clue were to be Dorothy, then each player would also find a card that they feel might represent this particular clue. Now, you could have this, clue be 1 word long, it could be an entire paragraph. The length of it doesn't actually matter, as long as the goal of yours is to at least get someone to guess it, but not everybody. And so we're going to go through each of these hands real quick. So at this point, everyone has laid down one of their cards. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to shuffle this stack of cards here, and you're going to see numbers that are on the board itself. So you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what you'll do is you'll lay these cards out in order. So we have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Now, at this point, I do not actually have to lay a tile since I already know which one's mine. Each of these players will then lay out one of their tiles as to which one they think it is. So we're going to go with this one. And we'll this one, pick that one. We'll have that one pick that one. And we'll have that one pick that one. Once they've all put face down what they're wanting to choose, they will put them all face up. So in this particular case, both white and pink picked their correct one. This is actually the one that I laid down as far as blue goes. Even though some of these were probably better than the initial clue, but that's probably why, like say in this case, green would have guessed that, or I don't know why 2 would have chose 2, but I just picked them randomly. But in this particular case, so since at least one person guessed it, but not everybody, white and pink will also gain 3. So these are both going to get 3 points. And then since they did guess it, and not everybody, I also get 3. And then you'll go through each of these people. So let's say number 2, let's say that was pink's. So pink will get an additional point since they guessed pink's card. And then let's say 4 was red's. And so at this point, this is the score after this first round. Usually you play up to 30, sometimes we just play until the decks are done. And then you continue on. Like, the game as a whole is fairly easy. It's quite simplistic as far as things go usually. It depends on the group that you play with. If they can get into it pretty well, then it can be a very good game. There's also tons and tons of expansions. Well, tons, there's at least several expansions, but like for example, this is the current deck, not including some of the stuff we've already discarded, and it's in the player's hand, so this is with one expansion. The base set is about half of this, so it's fairly large all in all. So that is Dixit in a nutshell. Otherwise, in 3-player variation, you have your clue, the person that gives a clue. So they will drop their 1 card, and then in 3-player, the other 2 players will drop 2 cards each. It kind of reduces the chances of being able to figure it out really easily. And so a lot of times that's playable, though it's still not ideal. Because again, you already know 2 of the things are not going to be it. And most of the time, it's really just a matter of how well the other player can actually come up with an idea that makes you want to take one of their cards for that particular clue. Otherwise, fun game, and that would be my review. So my final thoughts will be after this. Alright, so that was Dixit. This is a game by Asmodee. Usually it plays in 20 to 30 minutes depending on how long people want to play it for. It's an easy one for people to kind of drop in and out of, though, as you need to. As long as you're not really worried about score too much, then dropping in halfway through the game is not really that big of a deal. Otherwise, that's Dixit. Definitely watch for more games in the future, which I should be coming out with a few more pretty soon of how to play videos on other games. And thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming. You have a good day.